Ahoy, my friends, Ryder here, and welcome back to another Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis video. Today, I'm going to be doing a guide for one of the new Crisis dungeons. It is going to be the Grastia path. I will say this is definitely the harder one of the two, so I'm going to dive in over here. Let's go check out the Grastia path. As you can see right here, I have gotten the S+ score, 744,000, so I'll be shooting for that on this more refined run. This is going to be the team that I'm going to be running. However, I did put up a slightly more free-to-play friendly team just for those of you that don't have what I have in this main team that I'll be running. However, this is definitely a harder Crisis dungeon. It has a heavier DPS check, especially against the Astral Giant in the beginning of the fight. So this is the team that, you know, if you don't have Sephiroth's Kuja's Spirit Blade, if you don't have really Aerith built, that you could run, although I still think that it might struggle against some of the harder DPS checks. A lot of the bosses in this fight, so if we go over here to the simple enemy info, we're fighting a lot of the same bosses. However, it seems like they've been upgraded a little bit. Like Rufus can cast Curaga. He's definitely like a stronger Rufus than any of the ones we fought before. They have heightened abilities, techniques, and I think it's may only just be Rufus that's like that, but I think maybe Behemoth 2 and the Specimen H0512. Either way, it's definitely a tough dungeon. Took me a few runs to get it. So if you guys want to snap a screenshot of this for another team that could possibly work, here's one that's a little more free-to-play friendly. That being said, I'm going to head back to the team that I'm going to be taking into this. As you can see, it has a power of 257,000. I'm going to review how I built this team in a second, but first we're going to look at the 5 individual enemies we'll be facing in the dungeon. We have the Astral Iron Giant, which essentially, the name of the game in this dungeon is non-elemental damage. So, especially because you have to fight the Astral Iron Giant first. I mean, I don't know how you would fight him anything other than first. He's definitely, I think, the hardest boss in the dungeon is this Astral Iron Giant. And even for me, with the right equipment, he's still hard to take down. Other than that, we have the Behemoth. So he's going to have a physical or a magic counter sigil during his during one of his sigil breaks. He will counter magic damage. However, we're also going to fight Rufus, right? And Rufus has a sigil counter against physical attacks, I believe. So it's like you have to bring both magic and physical sigils into this fight just because the bosses are different, which is the first time that we've seen it. Other than that, we have the Specimen H0512. He can poison you. We also have the Dragon, which is the final boss, which can also AoE poison you. However, we are going to take the 100% poison resistance on the very first trance ability, so we're not going to have to worry about healing poison. We are going to deal with these little guys, the Vardgid, whatever they are. Pretty annoying, but not terrible. All right, so let's look at the map. All right, I'm going to zoom out here. I'm going to show you like more or less what the strategy is going into this. So we're going to go take out the Astral Iron Giant, which is going to involve debuffing his physical magic defense, debuffing his physical attack, because he is going to hit very hard. Once we take him out, we're going to head over here, take out the Specimen H0512. He shouldn't be too bad, especially if we get our limit breaks up in time. Before the Specimen, I believe, actually, we're going to be using physical and magic attack jellies throughout the fight once we get to the second boss, and they are going to last us all the way through to the final boss, so it is going to work. After that, we're going to grab these chests right here, then we're going to run over and take out Rufus. He's like kind of an annoying fight, so you definitely want to fight him before Behemoth, and you also want to be able to take out Darkstar, which is his hound, before he hits you with that first attack. So I'm going to go over how to make that happen. After Rufus, we're going to head over here to Behemoth. Behemoth is not so bad, all in all. And then after that, we're going to head to the final boss right here, which is the regular dragon, the poison dragon. All of you guys know him. You've fought him before. And if you haven't, it's basically just like the other dragons with no elemental affinity, and he can cast AoE poison. All right. Looking at the initial trance abilities of the dungeon, Ice Potency, Fire Potency, and Lightning Potency are all reduced by 50%. So that's a good thing to keep in mind. Like I said, elemental damage here is key, especially against the Astral Iron Giant, who is going to greatly reduce all elemental damage. So if we look at the Astral Iron Giant right here, his resistances are to all elements. So you're going to want to bring some non-elemental weapons. If you missed the Final Fantasy IX crossover, this is definitely going to be a harder dungeon to beat, but now I'm starting to feel like the new Rebirth crossover is either going to introduce light, dark, Arcanum, which as you can see here, it's not resistant to it, or some type of newer non-elemental weapon. So I'm not really sure. That being said, let's get into the overall team setup right here. So just off the bat, I'm going to review the materia. So for Tifa, I have a Cura in her first slot, Aerith the same. Sephiroth is the only one I'm not running Cura in the first slot, and as you can see, everything else that we have set up here are all different types of sigils. That's because of the different counters that you're going to come across throughout this fight, namely against Rufus and Behemoth. So I'm going to toggle this over. So actually, let's see here. So I believe we have X's all across the bottom row right here. So I'm going to go back out. So we have a physical X sigil on Tifa, physical X sigil on Aerith, and then a magic X sigil on Sephiroth. But then we also have a, wait here. Yeah, we also have a physical X sigil on Sephiroth as well. So everyone is going to be running, or Sephiroth is going to be running both physical and magic X sigils. That is because I am running him with the edged wings right here. So edged wings has a sigil boost for X. So essentially, as long as Sephiroth has both, it doesn't matter what the counter the enemy has, because he's going to be able to essentially break their sigil phase on his own. So that's why I have done that. I also equip a circle sigil on him, as well as a circle sigil on Aerith and a circle sigil on Tifa. So Sephiroth, more or less by himself, is going to be able to take out the X breaks, but then we also have circles backed up. We have both physical and magic sigils, just so that we don't get overall or overly countered against some of these enemies. Kind of a tricky fight. It was interesting going into this. Now, in regard to the minus 50% ice potency, because I did bring Sephiroth's edged wings, I bring the edged wings just because I want to take out Rufus's Hound, Darkstar, before he casts his first attack. So I'm bringing edged wings. We're going to get a minus 50% ice potency. However, we are going to get a plus 35% from his Arcanum costume. So now we're down to minus 15%. And then if we go into his actual build right here, we go to his abilities, we have Ice Potency at level 5, which is going to give us 55%. So essentially we're at plus 40% Ice Potency. So we're still good. We're still dealing with the handicap of it, and it's going to allow us to kill Darkstar right off the bat. All right, so now let's go in and go to the individual character builds. So here I have Tifa, level 70, 80,000 power. She's got 10k HP, 3k physical attack, 144 physical defense, and 119 magic defense. Her back end abilities are as shown below. She are right here. I think because of my camera, you might not be able to see what they are. But it goes down to physical attack 5, wind potency, but really the top ones are right up here. Now, if we're going over and we're looking at her, Tifa is going to be kind of like my main DPS throughout this fight. I know that probably a lot of people are seeing Amaranth's Claws OB9 and saying, oh man, I definitely can't do this fight. I don't think that that's true. I think if you have Amaranth's Claws at all in any way, shape, or form, it's definitely going to help you, especially because it gives you that physical attack up buff. You just really got to kind of work with it. The Astral Giant is going to be hard no matter what, so you just got to deal with that. But once you get past him, it definitely mellows up a little bit. I am bringing Amaranth's costume just for the HP and the physical attack up, and then I'm also bringing the leather gloves right here for the physical attack debuff. I'm also bringing Kuja's Spirit Blade on Sephiroth because we're going to be doing a lot of debuffing, but the name of the game here is reducing physical attack, right? So this is just going to help to get, because the Iron Giant is going to vigor himself, he's going to get a massive physical attack boost. This is going to be to like knock that down so you don't take major damage against him. All right. Other than that, I'm running Water Kick because Aerith is going to be taking care of debuffing magic defense and physical defense. And then if we go into her sub-equips, we have Dark Heavens, Murasame, and the Torn Wing right here. All right, so let's move over to Aerith. Aerith is sitting at level 70, 84k power, 9.8k HP, 2.4k magic attack, and 2.1k healing. All right, I am running her with the Garnet's costume. However, you could run her multiple other ones, namely the Chocobo suit or the Rosy Battle suit. I think a lot of these could work. I just like the heal from Garnet's costume. Other than that, Fairy Tail in the main slot, almost always a given for me. I love Aerith as a healer, and so I run her as such. I'll also be running the Umbrella Rod in the second slot. Like I said, if you don't have these at this OB level, they're still going to work. It's just going to be a little bit harder. You may have to tweak certain things, but this video is to show you an overall strategy for going into this fight. All right. Now, other than that, her sub-equipments, we have the Hell House Cannon. We have the Bahamut Rapier for magic defense and magic attack up. And then also we have the Hell House Collar here. Physical defense is going to be more pertinent when you're going into these battles. A lot of these enemies are physically focused in their attacks. So this one here I just put on there to give her a little bit of extra magic attack. But other than that, this is going to be my Aerith build. Let's show you her healing abilities right here if you guys want to check it out, or her R abilities. And then, last but not least, we're going to go into my boy Sephiroth right now. Level 70, 92k power. He's got 7.6k HP. He has 3.4k magic attack, 123 physical defense, 103 magic defense, and then we go and look at his back end. Here are his R abilities as shown below. Of course, we're running him his Arcanum costume. I am running him Astral Gate. I do want to say you do not want to bring summons into this fight. Like I said, they're not going to do a lot of damage against the Astral Giant. A lot of things don't have any elemental weaknesses, so the limit breaks, especially if you have them at level 10, I think are going to serve you a lot better. Of course, we're bringing Edged Wings to deal with Darkstar, and then I'm also bringing the Kuja Spirit Blade. If you even have a base copy of the Kuja Spirit Blade, it's going to serve you great in this fight. It can AoE hit the random enemy mobs, lower their physical magic attack. It's just a great weapon to have. If you don't have it, however, only focus debuffing physical attack, like I said, with Tifa's leather gloves, etc. Now, for Sephiroth's sub-abilities, we have the Feather Scatter right here, which is like the Hell House Cannon, boosts HP physical defense. I also have the Aonibi right here, and then also the Arc Sword from Zack. Alright, so that is going to conclude the team build for right now. That being said, let's get into this fight. I'm going to drop the 100 crystals, replenish my dungeon keys, and we are going into it. Alright, this was a fun one. I attacked both of these new Crisis dungeons starting last night, and the La Paina Coast, super chill. This one was definitely harder, but hopefully with this guide you guys can get through it. So I'm just going to run straight up here to the Astral Iron Giant. We're just going to go ahead and take this guy down. All right, let's see. All right, so you're going to want to be on manual and slow speed. Right off the bat, you can debuff his physical magic defense with Sun Umbrella. Other than that, I'm just going to be lowering his physical attack with both Sephiroth and Tifa, and just trying to get off some damage in the meantime. All right, we'll switch over to the defense stance right here and block his first Helm Splitter. All right, after that, we're going straight back into damage. And we're just going to be slowly taking this guy down. With Sephiroth, I'm just going to be casting Flare Star, keeping his attack low throughout the fight, since any type of elemental damage is not going to work. With Aerith, I'll just be doing Night Bloom, and Tifa is going to be our main DPS over here. All right, so we're just going to slowly get him down. As you can see, he has a massive amount of HP. But as long as you keep him fully debuffed the whole time, it shouldn't be too bad. Alright, so going back to Aerith, let's get over to Tifa. Okay, so there's his In Spirit right there. As you can see, he did have a 5-tier up physical attack, so we're going to debuff that right there. Aerith is going to switch. I'm going to switch over to her, save her ATB, and we're going to block this one right here. Alright, so the name of this game is essentially just debuffing the Astral Giant, keeping up on heals, and slowly withering down his HP. This is the hardest fight to get a high score on, but even if you get around 50k, you can still easily get the S+ score, as you guys will see by the end of this fight. Alright, let's get into it. I'm going to toss a heal on here with Aerith. Okay. And one more attack with Tifa. One more Night Bloom with Aerith. And then I'm going to drop the limit breaks. Alright, so going straight into the limit breaks right here. This should take us pretty damn close to taking him out, if not being able to fully take him out. Alright, perfect. He's looking really low. Okay, so let's kill this dude. Alright, so there's the Astral Iron Giant. I would say probably one of the harder fights of the dungeon, if not the hardest fight. Rufus can be also pretty damn annoying, as you guys will see. I also want to check something. So let's see. I want to see what the starting items we have going into this dungeon are. Because if we start with physical and magic attack jellies, it would definitely be pertinent to use those before this fight. Alright, so let's see right here. Alright, so these are the choices. I'm going to go poison resist 100%, just so that we don't have to deal with it. Alright, so let's check our briefcase. Okay, so we have no items, so you don't start with any items right here. Right up here, we are going to fight a set of random enemies. It's going to be 3 of them. I'm going to show you which order that I take them out in. Alright, so let's get them right here. Okay, so the one on the right is going to be the easiest to kill, first and foremost. So I'm just going to Night Bloom him on Sephiroth. We're going to Aerial Frostblade, and with Tifa, we're going to No Mercy. Alright, I'm going to Flare Star to lower their attack. But these guys are super annoying. After that, I'm going to go to the one on the left right here. Okay. Hopefully we can get a heal in right here. But yeah, these enemies are super annoying. You guys know. You guys have fought them before. Alright, so just going back to damage. Keeping the Flare Star up. Keep their attacks low. I'm going to keep them debuffed. And let's go. Alright, so there goes the second one. Now we're on to the third. At this point, it's pretty chill. I'm going to heal, I think, not right now with Aerith, but towards the end of the fight. And we're just going to keep using Aerial Frostblade, No Mercy, and Night Bloom throughout this fight. Alright. Looks like these guys are resistant to magic damage, so just keep that in mind. You want to be using Tifa. Okay, there we go. I'll get off that No Mercy. Here's that Kiraga I'm trying to get off. Okay. Don't be too concerned with the damage this guy's doing. He does like a gravity type spell, so the more HP you have, the more it does. It does look like he can hit you pretty damn hard, but I don't think he can actually kill you. Alright, so there he goes. Alright, so that's going to be the first set of enemies. Probably the harder of the other ones. I think we might have one more like that. Alright, so right before this right here, we're going to go into our little briefcase. I'm going to drop a tent. You can be very generous with the items in this stage, and you're going to need to. I'm going to drop a Power Jelly on Tifa, a Magic Jelly on Sephiroth, and then we're just going to go straight into the fight against the Specimen right here. This one is definitely mellower than the Astral Iron Giant fight. Alright, and now that we don't have to deal with his poison, he's going to be even easier. So Sephiroth right off the bat, I'm going to Flare Star. So we're just going to lower his physical attack. With Tifa, I'm going to No Mercy. Aerith, I'm going to Night Bloom. So we're just debuffing him at the beginning. It's going to be the same thing with every fight. Alright, and then just get rolling into damage. Alright, so let's go right here. I'm actually going to save my limit breaks for the Rufus fight. So you don't need to use them in this one. The Rufus fight is definitely the harder fight. Alright, so just keep up the debuffs on him. He is going to Drain Touch you and kind of heal himself periodically throughout the fight, which is annoying, but it's definitely not the hardest of the things that we gotta fight. Alright, so here comes the first sigil break. Since it is X and Circle, I'm just going to rely on Sephiroth. He has the sigil boost, so it's going to make it relatively easy. I'm not going to worry about killing the adds at all. Don't worry about them. Just break the sigils and then burn him down once it's gone. Alright, so there it is. Aerith, Night Bloom, Tifa, No Mercy. Get off all your DPS hits right here, and he should go down just like that. Alright, so that is the second boss in the Grastia path, and looks like we have one more tough one, which is going to be Rufus, getting a good score of 61k. All right. All right. Don't forget to come back here and get this chest back here. We are going to need it. Okay, so for the second trance abilities, we have physical defense up duration, magic defense up duration. We don't have any of those buffs on our kit, so I'm going to take the physical defense down, okay? So that's going to help Tifa do damage, but obviously if you're running magic, but I think that most people are going to be running physical in this instance because physical does more against these creatures, so I'm going to take that one. That's going to allow Sun Umbrella to last longer in the fight, that buff. Okay, for those of you that didn't pull Aerith's new buff extension costume, super sick one. All right, so let's see. So I'm going to run down here to the Rufus fight. We're going to jump into our pack. Let's see here. I think that I am going to Physical Jelly Tifa, Magic Jelly Sephiroth. And do I want a tent right now? I think I'm fine without the tent right now, but definitely get off the physical magic attack jelly because you're going to need this to kill Darkstar at the beginning of the fight. Alright, so once we go into this fight, the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to debuff Darkstar with Night Umbrella and then cast Aerial Frostblade and No Mercy, killing him right away or as soon as we can. Alright, there we go. Come on, come on, come on. There we go. All right, so that's perfect. That's exactly what we wanted. Now we're going to block his first blast shot right here. Throughout this fight, you're going to want to keep in mind for when he's reloading. It's a very fast sigil break, and you got to be on top of it. So just keep that in mind. All right, here we go. Here's No Mercy. All right, I'm going to get off this Curaga, and then we're just going to wait out this Bright Lights right here. Okay, so he's going to be reloading pretty soon after this. Right there it is. All right, so we're just going to break that right off the bat. Boom, go straight into damage, rolling back around. Those are going to be the easiest ways to do damage against Rufus, is just breaking his reload. Keep up the Night Bloom as much as you can. All right, let's go. And then just try and keep down the damage. I'm going to get off one. Alright, so here you can see he has a physical counter. Okay, so we are going to be using Sephiroth to break this. Alright, and then once we break this, we should be able to fully take him down. I think we might even be able to do it with limit breaks right now, but I'm just going to slowly be breaking this down. And then I think we might be able to even save our limit breaks for Behemoth, which would be nice. Alright. Ooh, getting close, getting close. 13. I think we're going to get it. We're going to get it. Okay. Oh, man. There's 6. And this is it. Boom. And Rufus is going to go down. All right. There you have it. That is the Rufus fight. Not so bad. I think actually, like, the most important thing about this fight is breaking that reload sigil. It's very fast. It only costs 5. So if you're using Sephiroth, which is sigil boost, he can break it with one single hit. All right, so we are going to get 58k on that. We could have got higher if we used our limit breaks, but they are going to help us to like basically trounce Behemoth here in a second. All right, let's look at the trance abilities. Okay, so here we have physical defense, healing potency, magic attack, physical defense lowered, and magic attack. So we're going to take the physical defense up right here. Okay, I'm going to run back around, let's see, to Behemoth, and let's look at our HP. We're at 1914.8. At this point, you could definitely tent. I think I did in my first run, and I still got the S+. But what I am going to do is I'm just going to use one physical power jelly on Tifa, one magic jelly on Sephiroth, and we're just going to burn this guy with limit breaks. All right, so I'm not going to worry about the tent. We have all the sigils we need to not worry about his counter. All right, so I'm going to Night Bloom him off the bat. No Mercy. Sephiroth is going to go into Flare Star. And we're just going to take this guy down as fast as possible. Get some attacks in as soon as we can. All right. Let's frickin' get it. All right, just trying to do as much damage as I can before he starts to cast. Alright, now I'm going to go into the limit breaks right here. We'll get a little bit of a heal with Aerith's limit break, and then some damage with Sephiroth and Tifa's. Alright, so here's Astral Gate. Looking pretty powerful, 33k. Tifa's is going to take him very close to dying right here. Alright, so he's less than a quarter health. Aerith is going to Night Bloom one more time. Sephiroth, one last Aerial Frostblade. And with Tifa's No Mercy, we should be able to fully take him down. Hopefully. Alright. Going to Sigil Break him. Hopefully we can kill him. Alright, there we go. So there's the Behemoth. We just got one fight left for the Grastia path. As you can see, this one gets a little bit easier as you go. I feel like the crux of this entire dungeon is the Astral Iron Giant, so just keep that in mind for when you're team building. Alright. So there we have it. Let's look at the last trance ability. So let's keep in mind that we got 60% physical defense up on the last trance ability. Now let's look right here. So we could take the 120% physical defense, but we don't really need it, right? But if we take this one, we'll lose 40%, but we got 60 in the last trance ability. So we'll still be at 20% physical defense, plus we'll get the 30% physical attack. So this is what I'm going to take. I recommend that for everyone. All right. And other than that, let's see, there's going to be one more set of ads coming up. Okay. It's going to be those 3 annoying little dudes. So I'm going to take out this guy first. He's the little purple one, is the easiest one to take out right off the bat. All right, let's see. Oh man, Aerith going down quick right now. All right, so one of them is down. When working on the last 2, I'm going to take out the Tripapalapalapidus. I don't know how you frickin' say this guy's name. I'm going to Flare Star, lower their damage a little bit. Aerith will Night Bloom. And then just going back and rolling into damage. Alright. But yeah, as you guys can see, these guys are super, super, super annoying. Okay. Alright, so Tifa's doing the most amount of damage to that guy. I'm going to try and keep up on Tifa. Ooh, Sephiroth just died. Fuck. That's crazy. Alright, so we just want to make sure that we're getting everything down. I will heal everyone back up. Make sure that we stay relatively good on the HP. Once we take down this last one, it shouldn't be too bad. Holy shit. Alright, so that's that one down. I need to heal right here, so hopefully we can get this off. Alright. Damn, this is crazy. Would have never guessed that the crux fight of the whole dungeon is this last set of enemies, right? Alright, so here we go. Just Tifa's coming out of this stun. We're going to block that thunder attack, use No Mercy, and let's see. We're going to take it down. Alright, perfect. After that, it's not so bad. Those guys are just ultra annoying. I think that, honestly, it's crazy how the random enemies can become like the actual cruxes in dungeons. But as for Sephiroth dying, the last chest right here is exactly what we want. A Mega Elixir, which is going to fully heal everyone back up to full. It's going to give them their limit breaks. It's going to make this last fight so much more chill. So I'm just going to drop that Mega Elixir. We still have 2 Power Jellies, 2 Magic Jellies, so I'm going to put 1 on Tifa, 1 on Sephiroth to increase their limit breaks to max damage because they are physical magic-based abilities, okay? And then other than that, we're just going to roll straight into this fight right here. We're going to take down the final boss and get that S+ clear. Alright, so here we go, taking on the Poison Dragon. Alright, so we are going to take out the ads first. Okay. Alright, keep an eye on that poison shriek going on right now. We are going to block it right now. Once we block this ability, we're going to take down the last ad and then just burn down the boss. Alright, since we are immune to poison, it's not going to do much to us. Okay. Going to Aerial Frostblade, go into No Mercy. Alright, perfect. Gonna debuff the boss. No Mercy one more time. Alright, we just got our limit break. As soon as this gets off, I'm going to use the Healing Wind, go straight into the 3 limit breaks, and then hopefully we'll burn him down to the ground. I think he might have 1 sigil break to take care of, but shouldn't be too bad. Alright, there's the dragon. Here comes Astral Gate. Alright, so that did like almost half his HP. Alright, so at this point, just going to keep up the debuffs, as much damage as we can, burn him down to the ground as fast as we can, and let's get that S+ clear. Alright, so there's the barrier. Alright, so I'm going to be using Circle on Tifa, because Sephiroth can easily break the X, but we have all the right sigils that we need on all of our characters, so we won't need to worry about it. Alright, and one last one. Wow, Sephiroth died somehow. Looking pretty close. It looks like we got it, though. Alright, let's go. So yeah, Sephiroth's HP was a little low coming into this. He's at 7.8k, which doesn't seem that low, but these fights, they can really start to build up. So if you can get him above 8k, 8.5k, while still having good moderate attack, I think it'll serve you well. Alright, so let's see. We did get 55k on the last fight. Sephiroth passed, but I think that we should be able to get that S+ clear. Let's see how this goes. Alright, there we go. Alright, looks like I broke my record by 50,000 points. There's the S+. Alright, you're going to get a ton of goodies, tons of crisis medals, all that good stuff. So yeah, all in all, I think that this is definitely one of the harder fights. But you just got to kind of, you know, work through it. For me, I was just trying to figure out which bosses were in the fight, then building a team for it. Once you take into consideration all the sigils you need to not get countered, and then figure out a way to deal enough damage to Astral Iron Giant to kill him, it's really not that bad at the end of the day. So, that being said, if this video was helpful, drop a like, leave a comment. Always happy to hear from you guys. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Take care, and peace.